Aerodrome Finance is the #1 DEX on Base with over $471 million in total value locked, capturing nearly 50% of all DEX volume on the chain. In this video, I'm walking you through exactly how to become a liquidity provider on Aerodrome. We're covering the 3 pool types, how to open your first position live, why staking is non-negotiable, and the 3 compounding strategies you can use to maximize return in passive income mode. By the end of this video, you'll be good to fly, so let's get started. Aerodrome Finance is the #1 DEX on Base. It launched on August 28, 2023, and it was built by Dromos Labs. Now, if that name sounds familiar, they are the exact same team behind Velodrome on Optimism. Aerodrome is actually a fork of Velodrome, specifically optimized for the Base ecosystem. Within months of launching, it became the dominant DEX on Base, backed heavily by the Coinbase and Base ecosystem. If you are providing liquidity on Base, or you are thinking about it, Aerodrome is basically impossible to ignore at this point. It is the central liquidity marketplace for Coinbase Layer 2 network, and it is built specifically for liquidity providers who are serious about earning sustainable yields. Now, what makes Aerodrome different from every other DEX? It combines 2 approaches to liquidity. First, you have traditional AMM pools, what they call B1 pools. These work like the classic Uniswap B2 style, where you provide liquidity across the entire price range, aka foot range. Second, they have Slipstream, which is their concentrated liquidity engine. Think Uniswap B3 style pools, where you can set custom price ranges for better capital efficiency. But here's what really matters. Aerodrome is not built for mercenary capital. It is built for LPs who commit long term, and the DEX is structured to reward for that behavior heavily. Most recently, in November 2025, Dromos Labs announced something huge. They are merging Velodrome and Aerodrome into a single unified cross-chain platform called AERO. This is targeted for 2026 and will bring everything under one token and one platform across Base, Optimism, Ethereum, and potentially more chains. Okay, so why does any of this matter for you as a liquidity provider? 4 main reasons. First, higher capital efficiency. If you're using a Slipstream concentrated liquidity pools, you can set tighter ranges around the current price. That means that your capital is working harder and you're capturing more trading fees per dollar you deploy. Second, you get double rewards. You're earning trading fees from the swaps happening in your pool, and you're also earning AERO tokens emissions on top of that. Not every DEX gives you both. Aerodrome does. Third, there is a bribe system. Protocols that want liquidity in their pools will literally pay you bribes to vote for the gauges. We'll break down how that works, but just know that it's another income stream on top of fees and emissions. And fourth, you are on Base. That is Coinbase Layer 2, which means institutional backing, a strong system growth, and significantly lower gas compared to Ethereum mainnet. So if you're looking to LP somewhere that actually rewards long-term providers and not just mercenary farmers, Aerodrome is worth your attention. Now, let's break down exactly how this works under the hood. Aerodrome has 3 different pool types, and understanding which one to use is critical. Let's go through them. First, volatile pools. These are for the uncorrelated assets that move independently of each other. Think Ethereum and USDC, or Bitcoin and Ethereum. These use traditional consensus product formulas, and you are providing liquidity across the entire price range. The fee structure is typically around 0.3%, and the impermanent loss risk is higher because these assets don't move together. But if you believe in the long-term value of both tokens and you want full range exposure without actively managing the range, this is your pool type. Second, stable pools. These are designed for pegged or highly correlated assets. Things like USDC and USDBC, or stake Ethereum and Ethereum. The algorithm is optimized to minimize the slippage for assets that should trade close to 101. The fee here are lower, usually around 0.04%, because the volume is higher and the risk is lower. Impermanent loss is minimal as long as the peg holds, which makes these pools much safer for conservative LPs investors who want steady, predictable returns. Third, correlated liquidity pools, also called Slipstream or CL pools. This is where things get interesting. These work like Uniswap v3. You choose a custom price range where you want your liquidity to be active. If the prices stay within that range, you earn significantly more fees per dollar than you will on a full range pool. If the price moves outside of your range, you stop earning fees until it comes back. The fee tiers vary, 0.05%, 0.3%, or 1% depending on the pool. And the impermanent loss risk is variable. It all depends on how wide or how tight you set your range. A tighter range means more fees but more impermanent loss risk if the price moves against you. So when should you use CL pools? If you're willing to actively manage your positions, check them regularly, and rebalance when needed, CL pools can give you much higher returns. If you want something more passive, stick with V1 pools. Think of it this way. V1 is set and forget, aka passive income. Concentrated liquidity pools is active management for higher returns. You don't have to do this full time, but setting aside a few hours per week will definitely help you. Alright, now let's talk about the token that makes all of this work, AERO. As of today, AERO has a market cap of about $520 million. It is used for governance, directing emissions, and rewarding liquidity providers. Every week, AERO emissions are distributed to stake LP positions, and the amount each pool gets is determined by votes. But here's where it gets powerful. veAERO. veAERO stands for Vote Escrowed AERO. This is when you log your AERO tokens for a period of time. It could be anywhere from 1 week to 4 years. The longer you log, the more voting power you get. And why would you log your AERO? Well, 3 reasons. First, you get 100% of the trading fees from the pools you vote for. So if you're an LP in a pool and you also vote for that pool with your veAERO, you're literally double dipping and earning fees twice. Once as an LP and once as a voter. Second, you earn bribes. Protocols want liquidity in their pools, so they'll pay veAERO holders to vote for their gauges. These bribes are paid out weekly, and depending on how much veAERO you hold and which pools you vote for, this can be significant income. Third, you receive rebases. This is basically an anti-dilution mechanism. As new AERO is emitted, veAERO holders get rebases to maintain their share of voting power. So you're not getting diluted by new emissions. Now, as of today, emissions are distributed every Wednesday around 6 p.m. Eastern Time. The amount of AERO each pool receives is determined by how many AERO votes it gets. So if you're a large veAERO holder, you can actually direct emissions to the pools where you're providing liquidity, which boosts your returns. This is the V33 model in action. It aligns LPs, voters, and protocols all in the same directions. LPs win emissions, voter gets fees and bribes, protocols get liquidity. Everyone wins when they commit long term. Before we move on, I want to quickly mention 2 other programs, AutoPilot and Flight School. AutoPilot manages liquidity ranges, rebalances, and compounds returns for you while mitigating impermanent loss. Flight School, on the other end, gives you a bonus on your deposit based on how long you log your AERO. The longer the log, the bigger the bonus. Both of these are more advanced topics, and we're going to cover them in a dedicated video. So if you're interested in maximizing your AERO returns and strategy, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. Alright, enough theory, let's actually open a position together. Before we jump in, make sure you have these 3 things ready. First, you need the base network added to your wallet. If you're using Ravi or MetaMask, you just need to select the base network, and that'll do it. Second, you need assets already bridged to base. You can LP on Aerodrome if your tokens are still on Ethereum mainnet or any other chain. And third, keep about $5 to $10 worth of Ethereum in your wallet for gas. Transactions on Base are super cheap, usually between 1 cent and 10 cents, but you still need Ethereum to pay for them. So that being said, let's go. Okay, it is showtime. So now let's go over Aerodrome, and I'm going to show you everything that we've been preaching. Okay, let's do this. So the first step is to head to Aerodrome.finance. Aerodrome.finance. Once you're there, the first thing that we're going to do will be connect. So we're gonna click connect, browser wallet, and I'm gonna select Grab in my case. I'm gonna click connect, and just like that, we are in the game. So the first thing that we're going to see will be the swap option. This is for us where the money happens. As a liquidity provider, whenever someone swaps one asset for the other, they generate fees, and those fees goes back to you. So to show you how that works, we're gonna come in here, and I'm going to sell some Solana for some Ethereum. Not much, but honest work. I'm gonna click swap, and I'll click sign, confirm, and now let's do the allow. So we're gonna come in here, click sign, confirm, and just like that, we're gonna get an alert. So the alert, I'm going to ignore it. It's fine. It's Aerodrome.finance. I'm going to click sign again, and just like that, done. Now I swap some of my Solana for new Ethereum. So that's how the swap works. As a liquidity provider, you supply both, and then you get a kickback from the fees. So next thing we have is liquidity. In here is where you find all of the pools available. So for instance, we have USDC and AERO, 0.03% fees. There is a volume of $17 million. Fees, $51,000. TVL, $34 million. And that's generating about 10% in fee APR. And then down in here, we have Ethereum and USDC. This is more what I like. I like to offer stable coins and also Ethereum or Solana. In here, we also have CV Ethereum and Wrap Ethereum. They're technically the exact same thing. It's Ethereum just using two different tokens. And that's why we can see that it's a concentrated stable one, which means that the range is very, very tight. So if I click in here, you'll notice that it's super tight. And the reason behind that is because Ethereum is Ethereum. So the price moves very in a correlated way. They move the same. It's the same token. So for this example, we're going to go with Ethereum and the USDC. It's about 38% right now. We're going to click in this one, Ethereum and USDC. I already went over the prices on CoinMarketCap. So for example, I'm just gonna come in here and say, hey, I want to offer liquidity at $2,800 and $3,400. As long as the price of Ethereum is around these two, we're good. It says that we're gonna be generating 8.49%. That is not life-changing money, but I just want you to keep in mind that the APR changes. This is based on the past 24 hours. So as long as there is more volume or more transactions happening, the APR is gonna keep moving up or down. As long as you're making over at least 10-20% long term, you're good. If you wanna go a little bit closer and you don't mind about impermanent losses, you just want to lock in as much fees as you can, then we can just go and put, let's say, 3,000 and 3,400, which is a little tight, but look at that, it's 23%. It's up to you, up to your strategy. For me, this is a demo, so I'm just gonna go with it. It's fine. And then if we scroll down, now we can see the balance. So we can come in here, just click here, use native. That's how I have it. I don't have it wrap, I have it native. And then now I can select up to $44. So for this example, I'll do, let's go $15. Once again, this is just a demo. It's just an example. If you have your liquidity, if you want to put $100, $1,000, $10,000, you can do it. I just want to guide you on how to do it. So we can come in here, click deposit, click sign, confirm. And one more signature. And that's it. Congratulations. You just invested your first $33 on a pool. So now you're going to start generating fees, technically on AutoPilot, as long as the price of Ethereum remains between this range. If it goes out of that range, then that's a whole different conversation that we're going to be covering in a different video. So now if I go back to dashboard, I can see my position, $33. I can see my range. I can see my deposit. But one thing that I want to emphasize is that you need to stake it. So if you come in here and you see the unstake option, you'll notice a little blinking. In Aerodrome, for you to make the most out of your investment, you want to stake it. If you don't stake it, you'll be paying about 10% of your fees to the people that are voting for it. So what you want to do is click a stake, and that way you can also generate AERO emissions and AERO tokens as an add-on on top of your fees. You're gonna click a stake. You're going to sign it. Let's now confirm it. And just like that, we have now staked our position. So now we're generating fees. The APR, as you can see, went up, is higher. If you stake it, you get a higher APR. You're also gonna be getting emissions. As I already explained to you before, this is gonna be to balance it out the new AERO distributions, and you're also gonna be making trading fees. So now you are triple DPing from everywhere. You're gonna be generating fees, and this is gonna keep going up over time. Down here, you're gonna find locks and also voting rewards. So if you were to lock your liquidity by going into locking, create lock, and lock in some arrows, in this case I have 3. If I click create lock, I'm gonna get some veAERO in returns. In here, you can select for how long you like to do it. The longer you lock it, the more voting power you get. So if you were to lock it, let's say for 4 years, my voting power will be about 3.88 veAERO. If I do it for 7 days, only 0.01. I'll do it for 2 days just for demo purposes. I'm going to click here, sign, confirm, and I'm going to do it one more time. And just like that, I now have a lock. So I can use that lock. It's not showing up. Let's refresh it. There it is. I can use that lock to vote on pools. So I can go into vote, for example. I can find a pool that I care about. In this case, I'm going to type, let's say I want to accumulate Bitcoin. So it'll be CBBTC. Here we go. USDC. This one is yielding about 20%. So if I vote for it and I click vote at 100%, obviously I only did like $2 or whatever that was. So I'm not going to be making as much money. But if I were to do it with a higher amount, then I'll be making about 20% voting APR on this. So depending on the amount that you invest, this could be significant. For my personal position, I did about $10,000, got a bonus from flight school, and I'm averaging about $20 more or less on average from this position. It's not crazy, but back in the days when I did it, it was doing about $200 per week when there was a lot of activity happening. So it might change again in the future, but it's just some passive income that you can generate. So once you're ready to vote, just click vote. And then every Wednesday around 6 p.m. Eastern, that's the time as of today, you'll be able to collect your rewards and your emissions. If you don't want to be voting, you can always come back to lock, and then you can select this relay called veAERO Maxi, where you go in here, you deposit it, and you're getting about 16% APR. What they're going to do is they're going to use your veAERO, they'll put it to work, and you collect fees from all of the positions. This is technically money on AutoPilot as well. And yeah, guys, this is how Aerodrome works. On the next video, we're going to be going over AutoPilot and the flight school so you can lock in a bonus. But that's it. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Your voting rewards are going to show up in here, your locks will show up in here, and your liquidity pools are going to be in here. Now that you have learned how to use Aerodrome, I'll share with you 3 compounding strategies that you can apply once you start earning AERO rewards. Strategy number 1, manual compounding. The first step is to claim your AERO. Then you're gonna swap half of it to the other token in your pair. Add more liquidity and restake. This grows your LP position over time, which means more fees and more emission. This is best if your goal is to maximize the size of your position and compound your returns. Strategy number 2, take profits. This is where you claim your AERO, swap it to a stablecoin or Ethereum, and realize your gains. This reduces your exposure to the AERO price risk and gives you regular income. This is best if you want to treat LPing as a cash flow strategy or if you're worried about holding too much AERO. Strategy number 3, lock as veAERO. This is the advanced play. You claim your AERO, lock it as a veAERO, and then vote for your own pool. By doing this, you earn trading fees from your votes, you earn bribes, and you are directing more emissions to your pool, which boosts your LP returns even more. This is best if you are a long-term believer in Aerodrome and you want to maximize your influence and income across multiple streams. Personally, I use a mix of a strategy 1 and 2. I compound some of my rewards to grow my positions, and I take profits on the rest to reduce risk. Your strategy depends on your goals, but make sure you have a strategy. Don't just let AERO sit there unclaimed. Okay, and now really briefly, let's go over how I manage my Aerodrome positions on DeFi Orbit, because if we don't manage it right, then we don't know how well we're doing. Once you go into DeFi Orbit, we're going to automatically recognize the wallet that you have. So in this case, I have this position in here. If I go in here, I can see how much I'm gonna be making weekly, monthly, daily, what's my current pending yield, approximate APR. As you can see, it's adjusting. It's going to keep adjusting in real time. So depending on how much you're generating, it's gonna show it to you. You can see your total P&L, impermanent loss, current position value, value of held, literally all the information that you need. What is the Ethereum price, USDC price, historical performance, GEO, APR. You can also see the GEO collection. You can see token prices. So when I opened this position, Ethereum was worth $3,098. You can also see how much fees I've been generating. You can also see all together for my portfolio how much I'm making daily, weekly, monthly. You can see other positions. For instance, this was opened 3 months ago on Aerodrome as well on base. And then you can see that P&L is not as good, but we're still claiming GEO, we're still in range, so that's going to change. And all the information that you need, even if you have loans, you can come in here and see them all in the works. You can see, for example, this one from base, how much I have in here, how much I took as a loan. So all the information that you need for the visibility to make better decisions in DeFi, we got you covered. If you're watching this and you watch it this far, then check out the link in the description where we're gonna bypass the invite code for you. So no invite code required. All right, let's recap what we have covered. Aerodrome is the #1 DEX on base with over $471 million in TVL. It has 3 pool types: V1 stable pools, V1 volatile pools, and a Slipstream concentrated liquidity pools. You always want to stake your positions so you're earning AERO emissions on top of trading fees. And you want to track everything in DeFi Orbit so you actually know what your real performance is. In the next few videos, we're going to do deep dives on veAERO voting strategies, AutoPilot, and flight school, along with advanced range management for concentrated liquidity pools. So if you want to learn how to maximize your returns on Aerodrome, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. Lastly, drop any questions you have in the comments, and if this video helped you understand Aerodrome, hit the like button. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.